Welcome to Main Event Caterers training video on reading the paperwork and being a professional butler. In this video, you will learn about the paperwork we give you at an event and our expectations of you as a professional butler. Upon arriving at your event, the supervisor will hand you a packet of paperwork and tell you what you are responsible for during the setup. You need to know how to read the paperwork. In the packet the supervisor hands you, the front page or front 2 pages will be the setup sheet. Then comes the timeline. Next is the menu. And the last page on the paperwork will be your diagram. Let's dig a little deeper to understand each section in more detail. The setup sheet is organized as a grid. The far left column is each item that needs to be set up. You'll see the first thing on the list is the bar, then side tables, then escort table. Looking at the bar and using the grid going left to right, it tells you everything the bar needs. For tables, the bar will need 2 6-foot rectangle tables and PVC risers. The bar will not need any table pads. The bar will not need any chairs. The bar will need 2 linens that are 132 by 90 inches, and they will be ivory cotton linens. Next is the equipment section. This tells you all of the equipment that is needed to set up the bar. There's a lot of information written in this section. You will learn to understand what is written in this section in a separate bar training video. On the far right side of the grid is the location and notes section. This is where the salesperson puts any special notes they want you to see. Let's practice with some of the other things that need to be set up. The escort table needs to be set up. It needs 1 6-foot rectangle table. It doesn't need any table pads. It does not need any chairs. It will need 1 pink shantung linen that is 132 inches by 90 inches rectangular. The client is going to provide and set up any equipment that goes on the escort card table. There are no special notes other than see the floor plan for the location the escort card table is to be set up in. Now, you try reading over the tall cabs section. Let's make it a little bigger so you can see it. What tables are needed? What about pads? What about chairs? What about linens? What equipment is needed? Are there any special notes? If you answered that it needs 5 2-foot tall round tables, 5 small table pads, no chairs, 5 ivory shantung linens that are 120 inches round, 1 votive on each table, and to place all tall cabs around the edges of the room per client's request, then you got it right. Good job. After the setup sheet comes the timeline. Read over the timeline to get a sense of what is happening when throughout the night. Later, when the supervisor tells you your event assignments, knowing the timeline will make it so that you know what your responsibilities are at different points throughout the night. Next comes the menu. It too is a grid. On the far left side is each food item being served, as well as any other food or sauces that go with it. Let's look at this in closer detail. The first past hors d'oeuvre is braised short rib and brie cheese on a miniature brioche bun. The second past hors d'oeuvre is crispy mac and cheese croquette with farmhouse-aged cheddar and truffled aioli. Can you tell me what the third past hors d'oeuvre is? If you answered coconut-crusted shrimp, golden and crisp with a mango curry creme, then you got it right. Good job. The rest of the grid we aren't going to worry about right now. We will go into this in other training videos. The last page on the paperwork is the diagram. It tells you where things are going to be set up. You may recall from the setup sheet, the bar needed 2 6-foot rectangle tables. You can see them here. Can you find the escort card table? What about the cake table? I'm sure you found them by now, but here is the escort card table, and here is the cake table. Knowing how to read your paperwork is the first half of being successful in this job. The second half is being a professional butler. This means 4 things: having the right work ethic, having the look, having setup knowledge, and then knowing your event. Having the right work ethic is universal. It will help you in any job you have, now, past, or future. Being a professional butler begins with having the right work ethic. The first part of this is showing up when you say you're going to show up. Be on time and always meet at the loading dock of the building. Next is taking initiative. Don't wait to be told to do something. We are not looking for robots. What we are looking for is people who take initiative. Pre-act versus react. If you notice the bar is starting to run low on glasses, bring more glasses out to them. Don't wait and then react when the bar is out of glasses. Every event, the supervisor fills out a recap about the event. In that recap, it asks who the hardest worker on their team was this day. People who consistently show up on the hardest worker section will be rewarded by given more work and by potentially given raises. This is your opportunity to show us who you are. If you want more work, show us that you are among the hardest workers in the company. Being a professional butler also means having the look. This includes having the proper uniforms and always carrying with you the 4 tools. When you arrive, the first thing we do is unload all of the equipment from a truck and set it up. We don't want you to get your nice clothes dirty, so you should arrive in a setup uniform. From the bottom up, this includes black shoes that cover your whole foot, khaki or black pants, and a white or black polo shirt or long-sleeved collared shirt. Once the event setup is done, everyone will be instructed to change into their event uniform. We have 3 event uniforms. The first uniform we will go over is bistro apron. From the bottom up, this includes black lace-up dress shoes, black socks, black pants, a black apron that goes below the knees, a white dress shirt that fits you appropriately, and a black long tie. When we say a shirt that fits you appropriately, what does that mean? It should hit your shoulders correctly, the arm sleeve length should be correct, and when you close the top button, you should be able to fit 1 to 2 fingers in the collar. Any more than that, and the shirt you have doesn't have the right neck size. Our second uniform is the all-black uniform. This is the same as bistro apron, but with a black shirt. From the bottom up, this includes black lace-up dress shoes, black socks, black pants, a black apron that goes below the knees, a black dress shirt that fits you appropriately, and a long black tie. Our third and most common uniform is tuxedo. From the bottom up, this includes black lace-up dress shoes, black socks, black tuxedo pants, a black single-breasted tuxedo jacket that fits you appropriately, a white dress shirt that fits you appropriately, and a black bow tie. It should be a plain white dress shirt with your tuxedo, the same as with the bistro apron uniform. There are shirts known as tuxedo shirts that have ruffles on them. We do not want these. What we want is a plain white regular dress shirt. Similarly, there's a style of women's tuxedo that is tailored to end at the hips. We do not want these. Your tuxedo should cover your butt. Having the look includes proper uniform and carrying your 4 tools. These 4 tools are a pen, a lighter, a wine opener, and a smile. You must have these 4 tools with you at every event you work. They are part of your uniform. Again, a pen, a lighter, a wine opener, and a smile. Next, in being a professional butler, is having setup knowledge. Upon being hired, you are given a copy of the 4 categories of the yearly evaluation. The first category is job knowledge, and lists out 11 skills you must learn within the first 3 months of working for us. You are responsible for learning how to do the job. The onus of learning is on you. We will provide you the opportunity to learn. This ties into work ethic. You can show us how hard of a worker you are and how much initiative you have by how you learn the setup skills. There are 3 ways we give you the opportunity to learn. Upon hiring, you will come to an initial training class. There will also be online training videos. You are watching one of these right now. and lastly, through on-the-job learning. Again, you are responsible for learning how to do these things within the first 3 months of working for us. The final piece of being a professional butler is knowing about the event you are working. You are expected to know the food being served at the event. This includes if any food items have high allergy ingredients, such as dairy, nuts, eggs, or gluten, and any alternate meals we could offer a guest were they so to ask. You also need to know the wine being served today. This includes the type, the winery, and the region. When a guest asks you what wines we have, you should know. Today we have a Chardonnay from Pine Ridge Winery, which is in the Napa Valley. You should also know basic information about the building or venue you're working in. Where are the bathrooms located? I'm sure a guest is going to ask you at some point. And are there any rules you need to know about the building? Lastly, in knowing your event, you should know what your assignments are during the event. Let's do a quick recap of what this training video covered. It started out talking about the 4 sections of the paperwork and how to read through them. This includes setup sheets, which are set up as a grid, the event timeline, the event menu, and the diagram. Next, we went over what being a professional butler means. It means 4 things: having the proper work ethic, having the look, which includes uniforms and always carrying your 4 tools, having setup knowledge, and then knowing about your event. Thank you for watching our training video on reading the paperwork and being a professional butler. Take this knowledge with you and have a great time at our events.